Hello to myself and everybody else. This is video. Oh, wait, hold on. I actually check real quick. 16. That's what it is. Video 16. Alright, so today I'm going to look at the music for the third boss in the game, which is the road boss, or really the car boss, but either way. So far, I'm going to look at the music for that, the updated version of it, and then I'm going to look at the cutscene music and stuff I use for it too. So far, this probably shouldn't be like super long and all that, but there is some stuff I can definitely get from looking at this. So I'll go ahead and play the original version of the road boss. Okay, so that was the original, and I definitely have something to say about that. But so far I played the updated one, in which I also definitely got something I have to say about that one. But so far I'll go ahead and play the updated one. Yeah, so far that was the updated version of it. So far for both of these, looking at the original one right now, if I had to, like, any compliment I have to give myself for this, I really do like the bass of this, just how it starts off. I really do like how that sounds. So that's the part, like, I genuinely do love. That's why I like using the FM bass, which is what I use here. So far, the melody in this, again, was still an afterthought, but it, to me, is at least still kind of catchy, at the very least. Yeah, so far, again, it is at least a tiny bit catchy, probably still forgettable, but the bass kind of helps make up for that at the very least, just hearing that. But the main thing I definitely need to say about this is pretty not bad like song I made until I get to near the end. Because the original one is once I get around here where like the tone shift and stuff happens with the 1/4 pulse where it just sounds like this. Yeah, because with the original to that, I just didn't like how the tone shift kind of like just in the middle of a boss fight where you're supposed to be, like dodging a whole bunch of stuff too, you're running and everything. It just kind of goes from like sound like a boss fight kind of intense to just kind of like immediately just kind of slowing down. So basically I just like play the difference in it, just that, like how it just kind of changes entirely. Going back to it again, still doesn't sound too bad, but I just still really don't like the tone shift of it too much. So I ended up updating it to this one, where same thing, I kind of just added in like the actually no, I didn't add a triangle wave because again with FM bass it makes like a weird high pitch noise, but with this one, same thing. I like it. It was almost a good one up until it hits this point right here with the square wave. I think square wave or the this chip. Actually, let me see real quick. Yeah, actually, I think it's both of the square waves and stuff here. Because just this like really terrible sound, just I really hate how shrill it sounds. Again, I think I could go back and change now, but like I said again, I want to keep these the way they are as a learning experience. But just really that shrill sound, I just really hate how that ended up turning out and everything too. And because the whole reason I just made this change was because I hated that the other one just completely changed the tone of it and stuff like that too. So basically how it ended here, just going into the other thing. Yeah, like this. I like the bass change that I did with this too as well. Because they just played around going from this one where it's just kind of like a simple line and then break it up a bit to just this other one here. The bass by far is the best part of both of these iterations of the song. It's just the melody again, once I got to that, is where it just messes the whole thing up. Like, because again, early on, genuinely, and I keep repeating this, I genuinely had no idea what I was doing too much and was just kind of trying stuff. And my melodies were just terrible. So that's why you can just hear like the sharp, shrill sound and then it changes to like just everything like that. Just trying to like play two sounds to make something different. It just didn't really come out too well. The only thing and stuff beyond that is just really for the fight and stuff itself, because you're basically chasing down a car. I can technically say it does fit it okay because it sounds like a bunch of car horns and everything, so it does at least sound kind of like traffic-y, sort of, so I at least say it's okay with that tone-wise. It's just sound-wise, that shrill part, I just really hate that. But so far, again, I still say the bass kind of makes up for it and stuff a bit. It's just up until it hits around those parts and everything. So still, this is another example of me starting with the bass and then kind of doing the melody as an afterthought, except again it's not too bad up until I get to the second half and try to make the changes. It just does not work out too well. So at least the main thing to get from this is make a melody, try to think about that more to make it more catchy. And also just mention that too, it reminds me, a lot of these I made back then, I made without headphones. Again, that is a definite problem because that's why a lot of them don't really sound too good quality wise, because I made them without headphones and they sound fine out loud, but with headphones it's like, oh, this is not that good. So that's a definite thing that I learned around story 2, and for some stupid reason did not implement that until around like the either sometime story 3 or around 4, where I started listening to my music with headphones on. So at 5, I'm actually going to try to start making it with headphones so I can actually make something good. Because this is really a lesson that I should have learned maybe around 2 once I figured it out. But because I basically make like a bunch of music in the span of like a month or 2, then I just take an entire year before I start making music again. I completely forget like what I learned. So at least now with these videos, I should have no excuse to not put headphones on, listen to what I'm making, and genuinely try to get better. Because if it sounds terrible like this, then don't roll with that. Just try something else, change it, and just try to make it at least sound decent-ish like this. Just sounds way better to the ears, less shrill, still more catchy than the other thing. I just need to remember that. So far for this is the cutscene music I use usually before the boss fights and sometimes after the boss fights. Usually with this, I just make the music for the cutscene, and then from there I just take out the melody, maybe take out the bass as well, and just kind of let the drums and stuff play. So that's why with this, just kind of empty for both of the melodies and everything too. I just never change the number, and the only thing here is just the drums, so it just sounds like just really just drums playing stuff too before that. Because this is the original version of it. Then updated wise, all I did was literally, and you can see it in volume, all I did was just up the volume a little bit, and that was really it. Just that's really it. Yeah, but for most of my cutscenes before the boss or after, basically again I just take the music and just use the drums, or I might use a little bit of the bass, something like that, but mostly just the drums. Just so it won't just be completely silent until the song doesn't start playing and stuff like that too, but until you get to the boss fight. So this is just the whole process stuff behind that. But just going back to the other one real quick. Yeah, the main thing to get out of this is, again, the FM bass genuinely is my friend for boss fights and for other music. Because I made, I think, like a few more using specifically the FM bass, in which I really did like. I'll get those like probably way later on, but the other thing to take away from this is if the melody does not sound good and it sounds like a terrible sound, don't use it. I genuinely need to learn from my mistakes and genuinely just try to get better with this. So if the melody doesn't sound good and it sounds bad, even if I'm in a rush, just take your time, try to change it, and try to make it sound at least decent. So that's something I absolutely need to take away from just listening back to this one. But with all that said, to myself and everybody else, see you in the next one.